I'm in my Vanguard coloured top today, which can mean only one thing, a video all about Vanguard. I'm going to be talking about some really key things that you should know before investing with Vanguard. The first one, and this is quite important, is that with Vanguard, you can't actually invest in individual stocks. So if you're sitting there thinking that you want to invest in Microsoft, Tesla, and your local shop down the road, you can't do that with Vanguard. You can only invest in funds, not individual stocks. If you want to invest in just individual stocks and you're not interested in mutual funds, ETFs, or index funds, which Vanguard do offer, you probably need to go somewhere else. A point related to that, which you should also know, is that Vanguard only let you invest in their own funds. So if you were to invest using Hargreaves Lansdown, for example, you will probably get the option of many funds. And a lot of them funds will involve individual stocks and other companies' funds. But with Vanguard, you can only invest in Vanguard specific funds. This could be a good thing because as a beginner, you probably want to keep things simple, or even not as a beginner, you probably want to keep things simple, and you can really still get a diversified portfolio on Vanguard. Vanguard still have some of the most incredible funds available on the market. So by choosing to go with Vanguard, you will be missing out on individual stocks as part of your ISA if you decide to make a stocks and shares ISA on Vanguard, but you will probably still be able to get some amazing funds that people on other platforms still decide to actually invest in. So people on other platforms still may decide to actually invest in a Vanguard fund through their other platform. And what I will say as well is, obviously, you have the choice to invest in individual stocks elsewhere. So me personally, I have my stocks and shares ISA, my tax-free allowance on Vanguard, and I invest in Vanguard funds using that. But I also do invest in some individual stocks as well, but I just don't do that on Vanguard. So there are options. So the second thing that you should know is that Vanguard is known for being one of the cheapest platforms. So a lot of investors actually decide that they want to invest directly with Vanguard purely due to how little they charge. So with Vanguard, you pay a very low fee compared to other platforms. And that is just because they keep it as simple and as passive as possible, and they use their own funds, so they can afford to keep the fees really low for their investors. So you only actually pay management and account fees with Vanguard. So these typically tend to be very low. So I'll put some examples on the screen now, but yeah, you're not going to be paying a large amount of what you make on your investments in Vanguard fees. And obviously this is really beneficial because as an investor, you want to be profiting, you want to be keeping as much of your revenue as your profits as you possibly can. You don't really want to be paying out loads of fees left, right, and center. The next thing to know is that if you sign up with Vanguard, you have two options to open an account. You either do a £500 lump sum investment, so that's a one-off £500 to open your account. The second option is that you pay £100 monthly contributions. What I will say is when I signed up, I did the £500 lump sum investment and that opened my account. But what you can also do is the £100 a month, and then you do have the option to cancel it. So you could open your account with £100 because there is an option to cancel your direct debits with Vanguard. This fee of £100 or £500 can be significantly more than some other platforms out there. I know that there are many platforms now that you can get really easily on your phone that let you open a stocks and shares ISA with very little money. We're talking £10, even £1 in some cases. It may be that you really don't have that £100, £500 to open a Vanguard account, and you may decide to go somewhere else because of that. But obviously you need to weigh up all the things I talk about in this video before making your decision. And I would recommend go and watch other people's videos as well, because the more sources that you can get information from, the better informed your decision will be. This next one is really for those beginners out there that don't really know about ISAs and that is that you can have a stocks and shares ISA on Vanguard. That is what I personally do, and many people will do. This means that you will do all of your investing in your stocks and shares ISA through Vanguard, and you get £20,000 per year tax-free. And that's the same with any provider that you choose, as long as they offer a stocks and shares ISA. If you're like me and you want to invest using your stocks and shares ISA on Vanguard, but you also want to invest in some other things, you can do that, as long as you don't open another stocks and shares ISA account. So you can only have one of these a year. This means that if you've got your stocks and shares ISA on Vanguard, you can't then go and open another one on a different provider platform. But what you can do is that you can invest in other things, such as individual stocks on other platforms such as Freetrade or eToro, but you do have to do this through what is called a general investment account. And you will only pay tax when your profits on that surpass the capital gain tax allowance, which I believe is £12,300. So if you don't know much about ISAs and general investment accounts and all good things about tax, do go and learn that before you start investing. The next point to say is that Vanguard remain quite neutral. They don't really offer any financial advice at all. I think on some other platforms, and I could be wrong here, but I think some other platforms do offer some advice, I suppose, if you're willing to pay for it, but Vanguard don't, and I guess that may be another reason why they can keep their fees so low. The Vanguard platform, so the website, is so easy to use. Literally anyone, any beginner out there will be able to use it. It's super basic, super easy to navigate. Some people may argue that it's too basic and it doesn't give you enough analytics, and you can't look at charts very in depth. But for a beginner, and for me this far in my investment journey, it has been perfect. The next thing to know is that when you come to do a purchase on Vanguard, so you come to actually make an investment, you will get offered two buying options. And I've got them on the screen in front of me just to read them out to you. You can either do the next available price. So this means that you place your order as you would, but your order will not go through until the market opens, so until the next available trade point. Of course, the market and the prices change all the time, so you may actually end up paying a little bit more or a little bit less than you originally thought, but it will not change by very much at all. And by picking this option, you will not pay any additional fees. This is the one that I always go with. The other option that you can do is buy at the live price. Now, you can only do this for ETFs. You can't do it for anything else. But you can buy at the next live price for ETFs, which will mean you will pay the price that you're seeing on the screen exactly. But if you do pick this one, you will have to pay an additional £7.50 to cover Vanguard's fees for doing this. The next thing to know is that on your Vanguard account, you will have a cash wallet where any cash you have will sit in. Now, this is super important because when you come to pay your fees on Vanguard, which are very little as we spoke about, but when you need to pay them, they will come out of your cash wallet. If you do not have any cash sitting on your account, then Vanguard can sell some of your investments to actually cover their fees. You probably don't want this to happen, so I would always make sure that you have some money in your cash wallet. The amount that you want to keep in this cash wallet really does depend on how many account fees you're having to pay. But just for example, I currently have about £40 sitting in mine, and you can actually use this cash wallet to make investments if you wish. Next is a bit of a negative. Well, it could be a positive, it could be a negative, and that is that Vanguard don't actually have an app. So you can't log in on your phone unless you do it through your browser. I think this is for good reason. I think that Vanguard view their funds as very long-term investments. If you are a long-term investor with them, you don't really need to be checking your investments when you're out with your friends at a cafe. You can leave them in there and just check them maybe once a month on your laptop. I don't know if they'll look to bring out an app in the future or not, but it hasn't really been a hindrance for me. If I do need to check it for whatever reason when I'm out, I just log on using the internet. I don't need an app to do it. So of course that may be a real negative to you. It might actually be a positive to you to stop you constantly checking, or you just may not care like me. The last thing that I want to tell you is that the customer service on Vanguard seems to be really, really good. I can only talk from my experience, but I have never had to sit on the phone on hold for a long period of time. All I do if I want to talk to someone about my account on Vanguard is just log on my computer and send them a message. So you literally type a message to them like an email, send it off, and I've always got a response within 48 hours, I would say, but quite often much quicker than that. And all the replies that I have got have been super helpful. They don't seem rushed in any way. They've always, tried their best to help me. And if I'm still confused, I'll ask them another question and they'll come back to me again. So I've never had a problem and I've never had to ring up, which is fantastic. This message system that they have has been really positive for me because when I was a beginner, I would send them questions, probably quite silly questions, but I would send them questions all the time. They would get back to me and things would make a lot more sense. So relating to whether my fund paid dividends and stuff like that beginners probably don't know. But luckily I do know the answers to these questions now. But yeah, I wouldn't ever feel stupid sending them a message. If you want more Vanguard content, then I have you covered. I have a whole Vanguard portfolio playlist and a Vanguard playlist that has other things on there, other pieces of advice relating to Vanguard. So do check them out if you're interested. If you invest in Vanguard yourself and you want to add anything to this list that I've given you today, please comment below as it may help someone else. If you found this video helpful, give it one of these, give it a like, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you soon.